Hello everyone, so today we're going to weave a little Christmas tree from willow. Okay, so in your kits you have a frame. You've also got two short stout sticks. This is for your trunk. And then you have a bundle of weavers. So the tools you need for today's project is your secateurs. So in your kits, you'll find your frame. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is I have a little piece of willow that's tied onto it. So we're going to just take that off. So that's your frame. Okay, now if you squeeze your frame really, really tight, it might burst the skin up here, so just allow it to rest. Okay, and this little weaver, this little willow that we've taken off, we're going to actually begin our first weave. Okay, so we're going to take the tip, and here's Ella coming to inspect the work. Yeah. Okay, so we take our weaver and we take the thin part, which is called the tip, and this is the heavy end, and this is called the butt, B-U-T-T. So you take the top of the Christmas tree and you pop the tip in to the middle of the Christmas tree, and then you bring it around and up through the middle and back around and up through the middle, around, up through the middle, back around and up through the middle. And you keep on going, squeezing it as you're going around and up through the middle. Squeeze it and up through the middle. So that's my first rod woven onto the frame of the tree. Now I'm going to add in another rod from my weavers. So one side of the tree we're going to put in all our add-ons. So when I turn my tree over this side, you won't see any. So if the butt end ends on this side, my new butt end is going to be on the other side. Okay, so you just literally get your rod and slide it in so both butt ends, one is sticking up this side and one is this side, but you can't see any add-ons then on one side. And then holding the rod, you bring it again around into the middle, back around and into the middle. So it's around, into the middle, back around and into the middle. Again, you can say over and under. You can say over and under. And you keep on going to the end of the rod. And work it right to the tip. Okay, so that's my second rod. So now I'm going to add another one, and I'm going to stay with green. So if this butt end is sticking out here, and this one is here, so this one is on my right, this one is on my left, the next one is going to be on my right, like this. So you just lay it in so it's sticking up on the right. So we're alternating, we're putting them on alternative sides, and then we're going to lay that one in, and then we're going to give it a squeeze around and through the middle. And again, the same weave, over and under, over and under, over and under. So you keep on going, over, under, over, under. Right to the tip, over, under. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3 rods. Okay, so we put in another rod. Just lay it in. So where are we going to lay it in? This one is on my right, this one is on my left, this one is on my right, so this one is going to be on my left. So just lay it in, slide it in, holding it down tight and giving it a squeeze, over and under. And because willow is wood, you do have to put some pressure on it. Over, under, over, under. I'll turn around there. Again, over and under. Okay, now I'm going to start to think about a trunk. So I'm going to take those 2 rods, take those 2 heavier rods, and what you're going to do is you're going to feed them in to the weave that you've done. So the pointy end is going to go into the weave. So you slide it up and into the weave. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 rods to think about. Okay, so what you're going to do, squeezing the trunk together, and you're going to bring this one up into the middle here, and you're going to go round the outside and back up into the middle. So it's over, under, over, under, and then over, and then under. So it's over, under. You keep on going, over, then up into the middle of those, and then over this one, under this one, round the outside, up into the middle, over, under, and then around the outside and back up into the middle. Okay, so we're going to add on another rod. Now I'm going to pick the same colour as I started off the tip with. This nice orangey yellow one here. Okay, so we've added this one on my left, this one on my right, this one on my left, this one on my right. So now I'm going to add one on my left, but this time I'm not going to add it on the outside one. I'm going to add it on this one here, on the tree trunk part. Okay, so I just slide it in, and then I continue to weave, going around the outside, up through the middle, and then you're going to go over, under, and again squeeze it around the outside, up through the middle, and you're going to go over, under, and you continue around, and all the time you're working on that tree trunk. You're telling that to narrow in a little bit for you. Well, you can see it's the same weave around the outside, up through the middle, then you're going over, under, around the outside, up through the middle, over, under. So around, up through the middle, over, under. Okay, so you work that one to the tip. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rods in. So we're going to put in another one, and I think I will stay with Charmacina one, the orangey one. And again, this one was on my left, so this one is going to be on my right. And again, I'm going to put it in, slide it into the tree trunk. Not on this one, on this one here. I'm going to lay it in there, and then I'm going to go up into the middle of these two and around the outside and up into the middle and over, under. Around the outside, up into the middle of these two, over, under. Over, under, around the outside, up into the middle, and again give that trunk a little bit of a squeeze in, and then over, under, around the outside, up into the middle, over, under, and around, and then over, under. Okay, so the trunk is getting a little bit more narrow, and all trees are different. Some have really wide trunks and some have really narrow trunks. So don't worry if your trunk is narrower or wider. They're all different. Okay, so our last rod we put in was on the right. So we know our next rod is going to be on the left. And we're always adding in with the heavy end. Okay, so slide it into the trunk and then bring it around the outside, giving it a little squeeze as you're going, and up through the middle, and then over and under, and then around the outside, up through the middle, over, under, around the outside, over, under, around the outside, over, under. Okay. So now we're at the end of our frame for our the top of our tree, but we're still going to work on our trunk. So I'm going to put in another rod and I'm going to keep weaving on the trunk end. Now I'm not going to weave on 4 rods anymore. I'm going to just weave on 2. So if this one was on my right, the next one is going to be on my left. So then I go over and under. I'm just going to feed that little tip in here somewhere, just so he won't unravel. Just feed him in anywhere there. So then now you're only concerned with weaving your trunk, and it's the same weave. Around the outside, underneath, around the outside, underneath. So it's around the outside and then underneath, around and underneath, around. So you just keep on going around and underneath, and take it nice and slow, because willow is wood. It's not thread, so it doesn't like to be pulled around. You have to go nice and slow. So I think I'll put another one into my trunk, just to have maybe a small one, just to have it a little bit longer. So the last rod then, if this one is on my left, this one is going to be on my right. And then you go over and under, over and under, over and under, over and under, over, under. Just keep on going. And then when you're happy, you always look at your tree and just see how high your tree is and how high your trunk is. And when you're happy, you can just finish off. And how do you finish off? You finish off by getting the tip the thin part, and weave it back up into the weave like that, like a bit like stitching. So you just get your tip and weave it into the weave, and then give it a little pull. Great! So that's all our weaving done. So now we just get our secateurs and keep your hands back out of the way and just clip all the tips. Okay, and you can clip all of these ones as well at the front, or sometimes people like it that you leave those as part of the decoration. Depends how you like it. So you just clippity clip clip, and that's our little Christmas tree.